Welcome to Timeless Mind by Nicolaus podcast. Each week, we explore powerful ideas from the past to help you think deeper, live clearer, and lead yourself well.
Have you ever walked away from a conversation? Maybe a casual catch-up over coffee
Or a networking event.
Right, a networking event, or even just a quick chat in the hallway at work. And you felt this sudden sinking sense of regret. It's this strange, almost physical feeling, like you just reached into your pocket and handed over a valuable piece of yourself for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, you walk in feeling fine, but walk out feeling exposed.
Exactly. You feel exposed, almost vulnerable, and you can't quite pinpoint why. If you are nodding your head right now, you are definitely not alone. But what if I told you that this feeling isn't just a social anxiety or an awkward moment?
Right.
What if it is actually an ancient, fundamental truth about human nature and the mechanics of power? Today, we are going on a deep dive into a profoundly counterintuitive concept.
And it really is counterintuitive.
It is. The idea that the smartest people in the room don't win because they know the most, but because they reveal the least.
It is a fascinating shift in perspective, especially for those of us living in an era that constantly demands we broadcast, our every thought, feeling, and milestone.
Yeah, the pressure is constant.
It really is. To understand the mechanics of this, we are unpacking a highly impactful piece of source material today. It's a concept explored in depth by the YouTube channel Timeless Mind by Nicolaus. The presentation is titled, "Every Word You Say Gives Power Away." And the focus is on the ancient Greek philosophy of strategic silence.
Wow.
Yeah, it systematically breaks down the specific categories of information that historically and psychologically you should closely guard.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the core premise here completely shatters how most of us view everyday interactions. I mean, we tend to think of chatting as this benign, low-stakes activity, right?
So passing the time.
It's just passing the time, building rapport. But if you look at it through the lens of this ancient philosophy, an everyday chat is actually a subtle, continuous exchange of currency.
That's a great way to put it. A currency exchange.
Right. And in this economy, the coins you are trading are your fears, your long-term plans, your emotional limits, and your personal boundaries. Every time you open your mouth, you are spending capital.
And in ancient Greek thought, information is not just context. Information is literal power.
Literal power.
Yes. There is a binary outcome to communication in this philosophy. When we speak, we are doing one of two things. We are either connecting or we are exposing ourselves.
Connecting or exposing.
Exactly. Very often, in our desperate attempt to build rapport or just fill an uncomfortable silence, we accidentally do the latter.
We overshare.
We overshare. We hand over the raw materials that someone else could use to build a cage around us. The philosophy argues that silence is a protective shield, and the moment you drop it, you invite unnecessary risk.
That is a striking image. Handing over the materials to build a cage. It leads perfectly into the first major area we need to protect, which is our strategy. The mandate here is simple to say, but incredibly hard to execute. Never reveal your next move. The insight is that plans grow stronger in silence, and that we should announce our results, never our intentions. But hold on. How does that actually work in today's world?
It's tricky today.
Because we live in the era of building in public. If I want to launch a startup or pivot my career, modern advice tells me to blast it all over LinkedIn to build a community.
Yeah, to get engagement.
Exactly. Doesn't staying silent actually hurt my chances of getting support?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to look at the psychology of premature praise, as well as the tactical disadvantage of being predictable.
Okay.
The ancient Greeks understood that in war, victory belongs to the commander no one can read. If an enemy general knows your troop movements before you make them,
your strategy is useless.
Exactly. Now, translate that to modern life. When you broadcast your intentions, you give away the element of surprise.
You show your hand.
You show your hand, and you allow the world competitors, doubters, or even well-meaning pessimists to prepare for you, to plant seeds of doubt, or to outmaneuver you.
So it's about momentum. I mean, if I tell everyone I'm writing a book, I get the dopamine hit of their congratulations before I've even written a page.
Precisely. You drain your own motivational drive. You already got the reward.
Wow. Yeah.
But practically speaking, in a collaborative environment, you obviously have to share some plans.
Yeah.
The distinction is about sharing what is strictly necessary for execution while guarding the ultimate strategy.
So I tell my team what to do today, but not my 5-year master plan.
Yes. You share the tactical steps to get the job done, but you don't broadcast your underlying vulnerabilities, your fallback options, or your end game to the broader public. You remain the author of the narrative, revealing the plot only when the chapter is published.
That makes a lot of sense. You stay unpredictable to the outside world. And speaking of keeping people off balance, let's look at how this applies to our intellect.
This is a good one.
Because the next concept is never reveal how much you know. Now, this one feels really counterintuitive.
Very much so.
If I'm in a boardroom or a job interview, isn't the whole point to prove that I'm the smartest person in the room? Why would I hide my intelligence?
Because the moment people see your full intelligence, they immediately put their guard up.
Oh, interesting.
They start measuring their words around you. They see you as a threat to be managed rather than an ally to be trusted. The material brings up Socrates as the ultimate case study here.
Right, the Socratic method.
Exactly. Socrates was arguably the most brilliant mind in Athens, but he didn't walk around giving lectures on his own brilliance. He did the exact opposite.
He played the student.
He played the student. He just asked questions.
Haha. Yeah, he practically hacked human nature with that. He realized that people have this overwhelming, almost desperate desire to feel smart, to feel heard, and to educate others.
Yeah, exactly. What's fascinating here is the power dynamic that shifts when you stop trying to prove yourself. Socrates understood that if you offer someone the stage, they will almost always take it.
I can't resist.
They really can't. And while they're on that stage, feeling powerful and in control, they're actually handing you all their cards.
Because they're talking and you're listening.
Yes, they are giving you their perspectives, their biases, their level of understanding, and most importantly, their blind spots. By concealing his own intellect and acting as a facilitator, Socrates became the most informed person in the room.
He gathered all the intelligence without giving away any of his own.
Precisely.
But if I just play dumb in a corporate meeting, I'm never getting promoted. My boss will just think, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
How do we bridge that gap?
It is not about playing the fool or feigning incompetence. It is about strategic restraint.
Strategic restraint.
Yes. It is the difference between the person who dominates the first 20 minutes of a meeting trying to sound smart and the person who sits quietly, synthesizes everyone else's arguments, and delivers one devastatingly insightful conclusion at the very end.
Oh, I know that person. They always command the most respect.
Because you prove your competence through the quality of your synthesis and the precision of your questions, not the volume of your knowledge. You let others talk themselves into a corner, and then you offer the map out.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because we are moving from guarding our strategy and intellect to protecting our deepest vulnerabilities. The rules get incredibly personal now.
They do.
The next mandate from this ancient wisdom is never reveal your weaknesses. There is this powerful warning. Know yourself, but don't hand your wounds to others.
The profound statement.
It is.
Right.
But again, I have to play devil's advocate here. We live in a culture that champions vulnerability. We are told by leadership experts and psychologists to bring our whole selves to work.
Yeah, authenticity is the buzzword.
Right. We're supposed to share our struggles to build authentic connections. Isn't this Greek advice just a recipe for emotional isolation?
That is the defining tension of modern interpersonal dynamics. The ancient philosophy is not advocating for emotional repression or ignoring your flaws. The mandate explicitly says to know yourself. You must be intimately aware of your wounds, your triggers, and your insecurities. You should absolutely process them, perhaps with a therapist, a mentor, or a deeply trusted confidant.
So you deal with them, just not publicly.
Exactly. The danger lies in handing that highly sensitive, unhealed data over to the general public or casual acquaintances under the guise of authenticity.
Because if someone knows exactly what hurts you, they possess the precise blueprint to control you.
Precisely. If a colleague knows your deepest insecurity is a fear of exclusion or a fear of failure, they know exactly which lever to pull when they want to manipulate your behavior or undermine your confidence.
Wow. You just hand them the code.
You have willingly handed them the combination to your emotional safe. There is a massive difference between sharing a healed wound, a scar that demonstrates resilience, and exposing an open wound that can still be infected.
A scar versus an open wound.
Yes. True vulnerability requires boundaries. It means sharing the right things with the right people at the right time, not indiscriminately broadcasting your fears to everyone in your orbit.
That distinction between a scar and an open wound is brilliant. It reframes vulnerability from a performance into a private process. And this idea of handing over leverage connects directly to something we interact with every single day.
Money?
Money. The philosophy is adamant. Never reveal your true finances. The reasoning here is a fascinating dual threat scenario. If people think you are desperate, they control you. If they think you are wealthy, they target you.
Money is an incredibly potent force. It attracts both power and envy in equal measure. The Greeks had a very pragmatic understanding of this.
How so?
Well, if you reveal financial desperation, say in the salary negotiation or when buying a car, you invite exploitation. The other party knows you don't have the leverage to walk away, so they dictate the terms.
And on the flip side, the whole stealth wealth concept.
Exact.
If you project abundance, you attract parasitism. People suddenly want a piece of you or they resent you for having more. But wait, what about the modern push for salary transparency? We are encouraged to share what we make to ensure fair pay and close wage gaps. Does this ancient rule hold up against that?
Systemic transparency is very different from interpersonal financial signaling. Sharing data anonymously or within a structured union to ensure equity is a collective strategic move.
That makes sense. It's structural, not personal.
Right. What this philosophy warns against is the casual, ego-driven broadcasting of your financial status. Buying the flashy watch just to prove you had a good year, or constantly complaining about your credit card debt at the water cooler.
So it's about not giving away your personal leverage.
Yes. By keeping your personal financial status opaque in everyday interactions, you force people to deal with you based on your character and your merit. You neutralize money as a weapon they can use against you, and as a metric they can use to judge you.
Neutralizing weapons is a great way to think about it. And sometimes the weapons are the ones we build in our own minds. This brings us to the next concept. Never reveal your resentments.
This is a tough one for a lot of people.
It really is. When somebody wrongs us, the natural human instinct is to vent. We want to tell our friends, our coworkers, anyone who will listen, about how unfair a situation was and how terrible the person who slighted us is.
It feels good in the moment.
It feels like therapy. But this philosophy points out that the moment you speak about who hurt you, you are actively broadcasting what still controls you.
When you look at the psychology behind that, it makes perfect sense. Complaining about an adversary or dwelling on a past grievance publicly signals to the world that this person or event still occupies prime real estate in your mind.
You're showing your weak spots.
You are showing that you are easily unbalanced. The ancient Greeks deeply believed that a calm mind is far harder to defeat than an angry one.
Because an angry mind is predictable. If I know what makes you furious, I know exactly how to bait you into making a mistake.
A calm mind is a fortress. If you never reveal your resentments, your enemies never know if their attacks actually landed. Think about the power of a non-reaction. It drives an antagonist crazy when they try to provoke you, and you simply observe them without emotion.
They just hit a brick wall.
Exactly. They don't get the satisfaction of knowing they hurt you, and future adversaries can't use those past resentments to trigger you.
It is like refusing to give them a receipt for the emotional damage. But surely we can't just swallow our anger forever. How do we process resentment without revealing it?
Processing resentment is internal work. It is about recognizing the emotion, understanding why it surfaced, and transmuting it into forward momentum rather than external complaining.
Channeling it.
Yes, you channel the energy of that slight into improving your own position. You let your eventual success be the only response. Venting might provide temporary relief, but strategic silence provides long-term peace.
Let your success be the response. I love that. Now, we are moving into what I found to be the absolute most surprising and frankly challenging takeaway from this entire exploration. So here's the rule. Never reveal your ethical limits.
It sounds alarming at first.
It felt completely wrong when I first encountered it. We are taught from a very young age to stand up for our principles, to draw a line in the sand, and to let everyone know what we stand for. This ancient wisdom says the complete opposite. It warns us not to broadcast our moral boundaries.
This raises an important question. How do we reconcile the fundamental need to be good, honorable people with the instruction to hide our morality?
Right.
The distinction here is crucial to understand. The philosophy states, be honorable, but never advertise your boundaries. You absolutely must have a strong moral compass. You must know internally what you will and will not do.
But I shouldn't tell anyone what that compass points to.
The danger lies in the public advertisement of those exact limits.
So it's like playing a high-stakes game of poker. I might be playing entirely by the rules, but if I announce to the table, hey everyone, just so you know, I never ever bluff, I'm going to lose all my chips.
That is the perfect analogy.
I'm playing an honorable game, but I've handed my opponents a massive tactical advantage.
Because the moment your adversaries know exactly what you will never do, the moment they know you will never play dirty, you will never walk away from a negotiation without a deal, or you will never break a specific social convention, they know exactly how far they can push you.
They can game the system.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can operate in the gray areas, knowing you will stay safely in the white. By keeping your ethical limits private, you maintain an aura of unpredictability.
They have to assume I might be capable of anything, which naturally keeps them in check. I stay honorable in my actions, but I let the mystery of my capabilities serve as a deterrent. I don't give them the map to my boundaries.
Precisely. You don't make it easy for people to outmaneuver you by giving them a rule book of your behavior. You let them wonder. And in that space of wonder, they have to treat you with caution and respect.
So what does this all mean? We have talked about the friction of hiding our plans in a world that wants us to build in public.
We have.
We've discussed downplaying our intelligence to gather intel, concealing our unhealed wounds to prevent manipulation, masking our finances to avoid exploitation and envy, swallowing our resentments to maintain a fortress-like mind, and even keeping our moral boundaries under wraps to stay unpredictable. When you stack all of these ancient rules on top of each other, what is the ultimate philosophy we are looking at here?
What we are looking at is the synthesis of silence as the ultimate tool of self-preservation.
Self-preservation.
Yes. The Greeks valued silence, not because they were antisocial or because they lacked confidence. They valued it because silence is an active protective shield.
It's an action, not an absence.
Exactly. It protects your plans from sabotage, your power from being usurped, and your internal peace from being disrupted by the noise of other people's opinions.
Wow.
The core mandate that emerges is remarkably simple in theory, but demands immense discipline in practice. Speak less, observe more, and let your results speak for you.
Speak less, observe more.
The smartest individuals weigh their words carefully, treating them as finite resources. They spend far more time listening and synthesizing than they do talking and projecting.
And that brings us right back to you, listening to this deep dive right now. It is incredibly difficult to follow this ancient advice today. We are living in a modern world that practically demands we do the opposite.
It does.
Social media algorithms reward us for oversharing every mundane detail of our lives. Workplace cultures encourage us to constantly vocalize our progress and our feelings just to prove we are engaged. We are conditioned to believe that if we aren't broadcasting our thoughts, our struggles, and our every move, we somehow don't exist.
We fear being invisible.
We really do fear being invisible. It takes a massive amount of willpower to resist that intense cultural pressure and choose strategic silence instead.
It does require immense discipline, and it is vital to remember as we conclude that holding back this information isn't about deception.
Right, it's not malicious.
It is not about being cold, manipulative, or untrustworthy. It is at its core an act of supreme self-respect.
Supreme self-respect.
Yes. It is the active preservation of your own peace and your own autonomy. When you control the flow of information about yourself, you remain the author of your own life. You dictate the narrative, rather than handing the pen over to the crowd and hoping they write something nice about you.
That is a beautiful way to frame it, an act of supreme self-respect. You are protecting your own energy. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final, lingering thought to mull over.
Okay.
We've established that our words constantly leak our personal power out into the world, often without us even realizing it until that sinking feeling hits us later. So could the simple act of staying completely silent be the most rebellious, self-affirming choice we can possibly make in today's hyper-social society?
That's a powerful question.
What would actually happen if, for just one single week, you decided to stop explaining yourself, stop announcing your plans before they are finished, stop filling the quiet, awkward moments in conversations just to make other people comfortable? What if you decided to let your presence be louder than your words? Try it just for a week and see what happens to your personal power.
Thanks for reflecting with us here at Timeless Mind. Ancient wisdom for modern clarity. If today's idea sparked something in you, share it, live it, and pass it on. See you in the next episode.